The most effective people at work aren't working harder than everyone else. They're working smarter, inside better systems. Superhuman Go, from the makers of Grammarly, is the AI chat that works inside every tool you already use. Always ready and already aware of what you're working on. It's a teammate whose only job is to help you be better at yours. With Go working with you, you can show off what you do best. See what Superhuman Go can do at superhuman.com. That's superhuman.com.
Thank you so much for joining the We Don't Play podcast show today, Soyoung Shin. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Favor, for having me here.
You are welcome. And shout out to Creative Con, because that's how we met. Shout out to Julie and Dom. It was beautiful to connect, and we actually didn't even get to talk, but we were like in between each other's hallways.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Why not? So I'm so glad you're here, and shout out to the waterchef.com. You know, you're doing so good with the community and teaching people that we can live with things that are going to help us, as opposed to us using media or justification to prove that things are working, yet we don't know the foundation of the fundamentals, and you're bringing that to us. So thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, I mean, water is truly the foundation. You know, like our bodies are over 70% water. So the water that we drink, the water that is on our skin, the water that we use to like cook with, everything, all of that's so important. And I really want people to understand the impact of that on our health.
Yes. Let's roll it back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about how it all started for you. When did this become a serious thing, and how did it turn into what it is today?
Yes. So in mid 2023, I went through 2 health crises, like, you know, a health journey for myself. You know, I had a miscarriage, and then 2 weeks later, I lost my hearing completely on my right side. And so when that happened, after having a normal exam with my doctor, I just felt like my body was crying out, and it really needed something, you know? And I went down the rabbit hole, and that's really essentially how I found this water. And, you know, I just felt like I didn't want to take the doctor's advice of the fact that I would never get my hearing back. I just didn't want to accept that. I felt like there would be some way that I can get it back, and I was going to try everything possible to restore my hearing. So I found this water and decided, why not? So that's how I started. But my journey, like, I'm still working on my health with my hearing, but my dad, who has stage 4 prostate cancer, he started drinking this water. And I had heard lots of testimonials from other people and I read testimonials and studies on how water can impact cancer patients. But, you know, I just kind of thought, like, okay, well, he has nothing to lose, right? Stage 4 cancer, so what do you have to lose? So he started drinking it, and within 6 months, when he had a PET scan done, the PET scan showed that the lesions in his bones were gone. So, yeah, it was something that I had the doctor repeat to me 3 times because it felt so unbelievable. And I had chills, and I just felt like, okay, this is something that I have to share with other people. So, yeah. So it's not a medical claim, but that is, you know, the results that I saw with my dad was really the moment for me where I felt like, okay, this is something.
This is, wow, I'm speechless because, you know, we hear about water, but we don't have access to all the water, and everyone's listening to this and they're like, okay, I have water in my fridge, I have water in my pocket, I have water in my bag, but the water you're drinking is not really the water that's giving you the nutrients. So like what your dad and what you got was I'll call it nourishment and vitalization or revitalization of the cells. And I'm wondering, for someone thinking that it sounds like it's far-fetched, how can it come close so that you know that the water is actually different from, like, water is different from different waters?
Right. That water is water.
Right.
It's one of those things that, we don't talk about it. People don't think of water impacting you in different ways. But after doing so much reading and, looking at scientific studies of what it can do, it's not true at all. And, like most people drink bottled water, right? Because most people know that tap water has a lot of contaminants. So people say, okay, I'm not drinking tap water, I'm going to drink bottled water. But the reality is, bottled water is really no better than tap water. And in fact, a lot of bottled water is tap water put into a plastic bottle. So not only are you drinking tap water anyway, now you're getting like extra contaminants from like all of the microplastics and the nanoplastics from the bottle itself. It's like anywhere from about 6 months to, who knows, like years before you're actually drinking the water that was put into that bottle to begin with. So during that duration of that time, that water's traveled. So even if you're getting the best water from like the springs of Fiji or, wherever it's coming from, that water that's been sitting in that plastic has traveled through like hot weather, has, been stored in warehouses that don't have temperature controlled, it's been sitting maybe outside of the gas station, like basically baking in the sun. And so all of the plastic is leaching into the water. So again, even if you had like the most pure, clean water, now you're left with water that has all of these extra contaminants in it.
That makes somebody wonder, what do I do?
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Do now? Am I helpless, or is there a result? Is there something to do? Because I remember talking to you about this and even mentioning about the Oasis app and the H2O Score app, that you can check water and you get all the results, and you're going to believe the results you see because you're sure that the company has done their own due diligence, they've done their compliance, they've made sure that those measurements and metrics are working to let you know more about it. But if they're skewed, how do you move? What do you do next? That's a big question.
So it's just like anything else. One, you have to be curious and, just be aware. That's the first step, right? Be aware and take action. So you can go to a great resource is ewg.org/tapwater. So if you go to that website and you put in your zip code, you can look at the contaminants that are in your source water. So you will see, like, everyone be prepared to be shocked at what is in our water, because all of those chemicals that are in there, almost every single one, the side effect of that is unfortunately cancer. And so, I think we all know someone who has cancer, and those statistics, it's 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women will have cancer in their lifetime. And those are shocking statistics. And so we really need to be mindful and, take a look at our water, because it's in or on our bodies constantly all day long, and there's no way to avoid that. So it's number one, it's being aware of the fact that this is the reality, and then doing your research and doing the things that that make the most sense for you.
This is good. Thank you so much, Soyoung. This is very helpful, because now somebody can decide, okay, this is where I want to shop, this is where I want to get my water. Some people even go and resort to filtered water, where they get, let's say, okay, I like alkaline water. There was this whole big thing going about alkaline water. So now there's other levels and other pH levels, and people are like, what's the best? Is it 7? Is it 9? So when people are using these charts and trying to make a decision, what are the things they should be looking for, and what should they be naturally avoiding so they don't waste time dwelling on those things?
Right. So bottled alkaline water is actually something that I had heard was great too. So before we had discovered the water that we're drinking now, that's the water that I bought from my dad, and I had him, encouraged him to purchase that when he's buying water to drink. But this may be okay for some people, but like the most popular alkaline water, I believe, is the Essential brand. And if you look at the back and read the ingredients of water, there are ingredients in there. So there's ingredients such as baking soda that's making it alkaline. So for most people, there's really nothing wrong with having baking soda in your water. And it can be something that is a quick way to get alkaline water in your body. However, water that is alkaline, that is chemically changed with baking soda, versus water that is naturally alkaline, that is electrically changed, like the water that I drink, is different. Our bodies are electric.
Yeah. Because you think about it sometimes, when somebody has static, when they're touching a knife or touching a spoon or even a doorknob or just something that's metallic, and they're like, you get that little spark. Your body is reacting to something. So is that a sign of anything? Should that tell you something? Is there a lack of ions? I'm just thinking about the charge, and all these different things when you look at metal and what we're holding.
So I don't know if you're getting like those sparks that it's necessarily a sign of something, but when you're drinking the proper water, hydration it's so important, because you want to be hydrated on a cellular level. You want your cells to be hydrated, and not for the water to just go in your body and then just flush right out, because then that's not really doing anything for your body. And when you are hydrated on a cellular level, that's all of our cells, everything in our body, it needs water and the proper hydration for it to work properly. So the whole idea is that when your body is working properly, because our bodies always want to work for us. It doesn't want to be sick. It wants to be well. So it's always fighting for us to be healthy. But when we're overloaded with all of the toxins in our food, in our air, in the clothes that we wear, in everything, right? The air that we breathe, then our bodies are just overloaded with too many toxins. And that's when our bodies struggle, and that's when we get sick, because we're just struggling to fight those toxins, and there's no balance, and there's no way for our bodies to help get rid of those toxins if all it's doing is just bombarded with all the toxins every day, all day long.
This is good. Now, when I think about water in different, let's say, glasses or bottles, how would you know? For example, I know Icelandic water is what I drink now, and I heard about it years ago, but I was like, okay, it looks cool, it looks fancy. But the more you're able to look into the water, you're like, oh, there's a difference. And then when you start tasting water, you're like, water has a taste, because people say water has no taste. but I'm like, wait, there's a taste in this water. So when people are looking for, like, let me say it this way, excuse me. When people are looking for the right water to drink, just like you like the food you eat, what kind of taste buds should you be receiving? Because everyone is different. And how should it feel to you so that you feel like, okay, this is not salty, this is not tasting less than it should. So how do you gauge that?
Well, I mean, I think that's kind of a hard question because I think all of our taste buds are slightly different. But water shouldn't really have a flavor, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I remember when I was avoiding water like the plague, it was because way before people talked about microplastics or the fact that, like, way before I knew anything about the importance of water, I just did not like the fact that bottled water tasted like plastic. And so, number one, if your water tastes like plastic, you should probably stop drinking that water. But it should, when you drink water, it should taste clean. You know, there shouldn't be some kind of strong flavor. It should just taste clean and crisp. But when you start, I know for a lot of people, especially people who are like big water drinkers, they do have like a specific brand or a specific water that they like. So there are little, changes, little taste differences between brands and things like that could be mineral content. Again, it could be, some of the plastic that's been leached into the water. But there are small differences, but really water shouldn't have much of a flavor. It should just like be clean tasting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can definitely taste the water without saying that you're tasting it, because it's just going down the right way. Mm-hmm. It's the way you feel it. You're like, okay, yeah, this is a good one. You think about it like that too. So you got me thinking about something which I think would be really nice for people to also know. When you put lemon, cucumber, people like to do a lot of good stuff. I like it too, because it's exciting to have a different flavor if they kind of want to taste the flavor. But what would you say about adding fruit to water, and does that do anything in the enhancements of the cells, specifically when it comes to nutrients and just body fluids?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's great. Like lemon water especially is something that is great for you. It helps with like this detoxification.
Right.
And like you said, it gives you like a little bit of a almost crisp kind of taste and feel. So yes, I would say that that's perfectly fine. But the reality is, like, when we're out and about, when we're busy, we're not always like able to cut, wash a lemon, lemon, put it into our water. So it's probably not something that someone would likely do for every single time that they drink water. But yeah, it's something that I would say, yeah, go for it. If you like water with lemon, then yes, do it. Please wash the lemon before you put it in. But yeah, that's perfectly fine and can be helpful.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think about with water now, for somebody who's now thinking about their budget, their plan, because sometimes they're like, this water is expensive, I'm not going to buy the water. They would rather go buy water for $5 for a 40 pack because they're like, how many times am I going to do that? So people are not thinking health, they're thinking financially, or they're thinking volume. So how does somebody balance those two so that it's not off balance or now stretching them thin?
Mm-hmm. And that's a great question, because that's something that comes up often. And, the best way to really answer that is, of course, there's budget constraints for people, and I respect that tremendously. But if you really think about the cost of what happens when you're sick. When you're sick and you're unable to do things, what is the one thing that you want more than anything else? It's your health. So really, instead of looking at it as, oh, this costs X amount, it's an investment to your health. It's an investment to your family. It's an investment to, if you have a business, it's an investment to your business, because you have to be healthy in order to be able to do anything. And I know that people are not calculating how much it costs to buy bottled water, for instance. But when you sit down and do the calculation for how much, say, like you said, you drink the Icelandic water, that's expensive. So when you're calculating how much you drink, say for a day, let's say you're drinking 8 cups of water a day. When you calculate that for a month, a year, 5 years, those costs end up being in the tens of thousands of dollars. And no one is calculating that, So when you go to the store and you see a $2 bottle of water, it's inexpensive right there, then and there. This is just $2. But when you calculate, again, like how much that is over the course of a year, 5 years, 10 years, it adds up to be significant.
It does. It definitely does. And sometimes I'm like, is it worth it? But again, I'm like, your health is your wealth. Like when you invest in yourself, you have to love yourself before you love someone. So you can't help someone if you don't help yourself, So it's so important, but we overlook it. And I'm like, I'd rather be intentional and spend that $6, for a pack, and know that, okay, I'm definitely gonna drink water and have a better outcome when I think about hydration than have it for less, for $2, and then I'm worrying about something later in the future, because we don't know about these things. We also don't know what brands to choose. And not everyone is in the same country where the same brands are the same too. So it's like, it gets more complex. So someone is like, okay, how do I know what the best is? Because everyone's just advertising their best. So what's best for me and my family? So I think that's a major question we want to unpack.
Yeah, I mean, and also if you, like you said, if you have a family, think about the cost of, say, if you're a family of 4, now you've just 4 times the cost of that water, and then if you have pets, they're drinking water as well.
Right.
And, also going back to looking at it from a different perspective of what would it mean if I had X, Y, and Z? So like, what would it mean for you if you no longer had aches and pains? Like, what would would you be willing to pay, more for not having those aches and pains? Like, what would it mean to you if you didn't have like brain fog that you were dealing with every day, or people who are suffering from migraines? If you no longer had that, would that be worth it, as a one-time investment versus those water bottles that you get as like one time, as this was $2, this was $5? Like, would it be worth it to you if those things that you were going through, you didn't have to go through that anymore?
That is true. You got me thinking about, families or homes, even corporate, where there could be dispensaries, and those would be, the waters in gallons instead of having them in bottles or glasses. How effective is that too when it comes to microplastics, nanoplastics? Are we safer when we use alkaline gallons of water in our filters? Do we put filters to, help the water have a much better taste and, I'll say a sieved feeling? How would that work best for somebody who's trying to consider these options?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many options, right? So if you are looking for filtering, that is an incredible first step. And that too comes with research, just because, I say that because, I feel like I'm traumatized by the fact that I believe for so long that a Brita filter, and I don't necessarily want to like call out certain brands, but a Brita filter, which is something that I think most Americans, it's easily accessible, it's very affordable. Everyone, I think that's kind of like the go-to like name that we think of when we're thinking about, oh, let's drink filtered water at home. When you actually look at what they advertise, this is their own language. Like I was looking at the label even recently, and it says that they reduce the odor and the smell of chlorine. So that tells you that they haven't even removed the chlorine. They've just reduced the taste and the smell of it. So is it really even doing much at all? You know? So the filtering is definitely helpful with the right filter, but read carefully like the marketing and like the small print, and really look into it, because you can't really trust a big name or trust the marketing, trust the claims, because you really have to look into it yourself and see like, what is it actually filtering? Is this the right solution for me?
Oh yeah, that is a big one actually. You got me thinking about so many things, because we think about water, even filters for our showers, for our, when we're washing utensils or we're using dishwashers, there's water everywhere. And I was reading somewhere on Instagram today, and it made sense. Water was on the earth before the sun. So it says a lot about how our bodies and God made us to have 70% of water, because we can't live without water, and food and water, which one do you choose? People always ask those questions. So I'd love for you to tell them how they should consider these things when it comes to fasting, eating, just processing their lives, so that they're using water in a very unique and healthy way.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, after this conversation, hopefully you are looking at water from a more intentional perspective, because there are a lot of nuances to it, So going back to the shower, yes, you're right, because when you are taking a hot shower, it's something like a 10-minute hot shower is equivalent to drinking 8 cups of chlorinated water. And, our skin is our largest organ. So when we're taking a shower and our whole body is being, like we're putting that chlorinated water like on our skin, it's absorbing into our bodies. But there's actually a second factor to that. Like, we're breathing in those toxins as well. So not only are you absorbing it into your skin, you're also breathing that in. So filtering your shower water is super important as well. And, if kids are taking a bath, their bath water. And then there's also environmental factors too, right? Jumping back to bottled water, when you look at the plastic, all of the plastic epidemic, it's largely due to plastic water bottles, the waste from that, and what it's doing to like our oceans, for instance, all of the pollution in our oceans. So yeah, it goes far beyond just drinking in our health too, because it impacts everything, like our whole planet. It's all impacted by water. And that's a really good point, that like water was there before the sun.
It's a big deal, and I'm so happy you brought this. I've learned so much from you, and I hope as you're listening, you're also learning too, because these are the things that we don't hear, we don't know, but it's also going to help us know them better. And I think it would be good for people to also know someone that can be an accountability partner like you, that they could talk to and say, hey, what am I doing wrong, or what can I work on? Is this okay? What are the recommendations? Because you're going to go by reviews and all the things, but if you're getting it from experts like you, then it's going to be faster for someone to spend less time researching, because they're able to accumulate more time back. And, for people that are wondering how can they work with you, what are the options they have available so they can get in touch with you, and what can they do to get started before they even get into your calendar?
Right. So the best way to reach me right now is on my Instagram. So the Water Chef. Very, very simple, all one word. You can find me there. You can send me a DM. You can click on the link to schedule a consultation. Like you said, I've done a lot of research over the last 2.5 years since switching my water, just because I became so fascinated by it myself. You know, when you see those results like that, like health results like I did with my dad, you know, those are just shocking results. You know, every time I tell people that, even today, I hear it and I still I listen to it from a third party perspective, and it's still unbelievable. But that's the results that some people see, and that is worth, you know, there's no dollar amount that you can compare that to. And the education that I've poured into this in order to be able to teach other people and serve people so that they too are aware of the resources that are out there has been really fulfilling. So I just love being able to help people learn about water and make the choices that can serve them in a way that hopefully helps your health for the rest of your life.
That is true. Wow. Thank you so much, Soyoung Shin, for being with us on the We Don't Pay podcast show today. And I really can't wait to bring you back so that we can talk more about this and see where we are going, you know, in the future. And I would say one last thing you can ask them and tell them is, if there was one thing they should change today after listening to this episode, what should that be?
Definitely look into filtering water. Yes.
Filtering your water, 100%. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Favor.
Anytime. My pleasure. Bye for now. Welcome to season 13, where you listen, you live, you learn, and you earn. A lot of information is always given on this show. So we're in the 13th season. God has brought us so far, and I just want to thank God for the opportunity to connect with you today on such quiet, calm space like this. So thank you for listening. Know that Jesus loves you, and know that you can always connect with me on the We Don't Play podcast show. More specifically, go to wedon'tplaypodcast.com, or you can go to playinc.online. That is PLAYINC.online, and get in touch with me. Let's get on a call. Let's talk. Let's focus on SEO for 2026 and beyond. So until we meet in the next episode, God bless you. Jesus loves you. Stay hydrated, stay safe, and stay blessed, and stay tuned. Bye for now.
The people who seem to get more done than everyone else, they're not working longer hours or running on more caffeine. They've just stopped wasting time on the stuff that doesn't move work forward. Switching apps, re-explaining context, hunting for files, those aren't small inefficiencies. They're hours wasted every week. Superhuman Go gives you those hours back. From the makers of Grammarly, Go is an AI chat that sits inside every tab and tool you already use. Always available and ready to help you with what you're working on. Ask it to draft something, summarize a long thread, pull up a file, or prep you for a meeting. Go handles it without you ever leaving the page you're on. This is what it looks like when AI actually fits into your work, instead of adding to it. It's like having a teammate whose only job is to help you be better at yours. Go keeps up so you can move forward. And with Go working with you, you can show off what you do best. See what Superhuman Go can do at superhuman.com. That's superhuman.com.